Hello, America. I'm Tom Hand, the creator of Americana Corner, and welcome to our series, Preserving America, where we are spotlighting organizations that focus on telling the great American story about our nation's first century. We think you will be as impressed as we are about how your fellow citizens are keeping alive the heroes of our past. Today, we are with the folks at the historic Cold Spring Village in beautiful Cape May, New Jersey. And with us is John Ryan, its Chief Operating Officer. John, how are you?
Doing well today, Tom. Thank you.
Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Well, I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Cold Spring Village. I've been here about 5 years. Prior to that, I was in the U.S. Coast Guard for 21 years. I grew up around Cape May, more or less. My dad was in the service. We moved around a bit, but this is more or less my hometown. So after I retired from the service, I came back here.
For those of our viewers who may not be familiar with historic Cold Spring Village, can you tell us just a bit about what you guys do and your mission?
Absolutely. So we are the largest open-air living history museum in New Jersey. We're located just north of the town of Cape May, which is the southernmost point in New Jersey. We are a 30-acre site. We have 27 restored historic buildings from around Cape May County. They were relocated from around the area, starting in about 1973 through about 1981 was the original collection. It was all moved here. There have been a few more that have been added since that time. And our goal here is to recreate life in rural southern New Jersey. People know a lot about the beach communities, the Victorian homes in Cape May, but they don't really know a whole lot about how the common people lived on the farms and the rural areas in the area. So we kind of show the trades, the crafts, the way of life people lived. Our buildings include a blacksmith shop, a basket shop, a fully functional 9-acre farm. We've got a pottery shop, we've got an inn, we've got homes and different buildings where people would work and do trades like pottery and basket weaving, to see if people an idea of what life was like somewhere in the time period around just after the Revolutionary War to just before the Civil War. So generally we call it 1790 to about 1850.
Tell us about how the grant we sent your way is helping you at the historic Cold Spring Village.
Well, actually, I'm sitting in the room that the grant is going to help refurbish. This is our Welcome Center. It's part of one of our buildings. It's actually a building from 1898. It was used as a meeting house for the Junior Order of Mechanics, which is kind of an early form of a trade union for carpenters and blacksmiths, things like that. So this meeting house was served that until the 1940s, then it became a local town hall, and it was moved here in 1985. It's now our Welcome Center and our administrative offices. So down here in the museum section, we've got a variety of displays that kind of show the history of Cape May County, early settlements, shows where all of the buildings in the village were originally located. It kind of takes you through the historical period that we cover. So what we're looking to do down here, this hasn't been updated in about 7 years in the current configuration. Some of the displays are a little older than that. So we felt it would be a good time to start refreshing some of the displays, bringing in some color, some more professional signage. A lot of it was done here was done in-house. So we want to make it a little brighter, a little more vibrant, and also change things up a little bit. We've done the same thing for several years. We have people coming in year after year. We don't want to see the same things. We kind of want to make things a little more fresh and new and give them a new experience.
What about, what's your next thing you want to do there at historic Cold Spring Village to make the visitor experience more meaningful?
Well, one of the things we've been working on, especially during the pandemic, obviously, we did a lot of work moving a lot of our things online, virtual presentations. There are certain areas of the village, second floors of buildings that people don't normally get to see. So we're putting a lot of that online. We had a person come through and do Google 360 photography of all the buildings. So if there's an area you can't get into, you can always go online, look at that building, and actually take yourself on a virtual tour. So we're doing a lot of that, a lot of more virtual presentations to schools and community groups. And we're also involved in a lot of large-scale restoration projects. With 27 historic buildings here, there's always something that needs restoration or refurbishing. So we're going through replacing roofs, refinishing floors. Actually, the floor here behind me was completely refurbished about 2 years ago. So we kind of basically every year, we kind of go through the village, inspect the buildings, see what needs to be updated and changed. And then we generally apply for county, state, and private grants to help us fund those efforts. So we're coming up on our 50th anniversary of the initial founding of the village. We're trying to make everything as fresh and restored as possible.
Well, we love what you're doing. You engage the community. You're not in a major metro area, and so you're
No.
helping the rural area.
Mhm.
I love the hands-on aspect of it. I love the fact you have kids coming out there so they can see it firsthand. Um, yeah, your mission and things you're doing is exactly in our wheelhouse for Americana Corner.
Glad we can be a part of it.
I hope everyone out there has enjoyed this conversation with John Ryan from historic Cold Spring Village. Thank you, John. I just want to thank you for being with us today. Thank you for educating us and the rest of America on the great things you're doing at the historic Cold Spring Village. For those of you out there watching us, please remember that you can follow us on AmericanaCorner.com. We will be doing one of these visits once a month. And next month, we will be visiting with the people at Patrick Henry Memorial Foundation in Brookneal, Virginia. And we look forward to seeing you then. And until then, take good care of yourself. Bye.